So we are in Jerusalem this morning, and I thought that this is going to be the best place to make confessions. So today, I'm going to give you a few of my confessions. And the first one, that I am a dataholic. Now you guys probably ask yourself what dataholic is, right? So it means that for the last 20 years, I dealt with data every day. I helped the largest companies in the world make sense of data. So practically, this era of big data is a joy for me. More data, and I'm happier. Now, my second confession today, I'm also a shopaholic. I love shopping, but I hate going to the shops. It is really 2008, right? People are pushing, etc. I love going to all those e-commerce websites and do my shopping online. But the thing that always fascinates me is how Amazon knows me better than my wife or mother knows me, right? Every time I go to shop for the business intelligence book, it recommends me even better book that I should read. It's amazing. How do they do that? They leverage tons of data and the smartest algorithms and a recommendation engine to delight me to create upsell, and by that, improving their bottom line and taking the revenue to the sky. Now, because I'm in the business world, I've seen that corporates are very much like Amazon today or any e-commerce website. They have tons of data. And they're in a desperate need to make sense of that. If they won't, they will become obsolete and they will lose their business. But unlike Amazon, corporates today only leverage 10% of their data for analytical processes. Can you imagine that? Corporates use only 10%. The other 90% is neglected. It means that for every $1 million that they invest in storing and aggregating big data, they only leverage 10% of that investment. This is outrageous. So we decided to have a big vision, a dream big, and actually help the world's largest organization find insight in their data, help them unveil the blind spots in their data so they can enjoy 100% of their data to make sense of it, just like Amazon does. And this is why we invented Necto. Necto is our flagship product. It's actually the first and only system of insight in the world catering business users. Its mission is to make sense of data automatically with no human interference. Now, I do want to give you just 2 examples that will show you how amazing the product is. We actually were called by AT&T. AT&T had a major issue in ordering system. That's actually the bread of butter. That's where you lose business or you double business. They called us in. After 5 days, they told us that we showed them insight that they never knew of before, while other vendors who were there in the same pilot took them more than 6 months and they couldn't achieve it. The other example that I'm really proud of is a project that we did with Scalable. It's a large retailer and mall chain in Asia. And they had tons of visitors to their mall, but they wanted to double the share wallet they get from those customers. When we came in, we saw that they're not leveraging even 20% of their data. And they had point of sale system, but they also have loyalty applications. Our system brought all this data together, generated insight, which resulted in doubling the revenue for a specific customer segment. Now, I do want to take the next few minutes to show you the product. It's actually a pretty amazing product. You log in, and it tells you immediately what insight you should be aware of, automatically. If you want to create new insight, you just click here. And practically, in one click, it allows you to connect to all your data sources and application inside of your organization. In my exception, we are going to connect to sales. And in one click, our Necto system extracts the sales data, look for anomalies, looks for correlations, and find insights which are relevant to the business users. Here you can see the product finding insight that a business person would never find unless he spends hours or days. So actually what we just did here in the last minute was to transform a common business user, like myself, to become the world's most sophisticated data scientist just by using our tools. Now it's not ending there. When insight is being found, Nectar is giving you the whole story around it. It tells you, hey, you have sales issues, but here's the full story why it happens. And not only why it happened, how can you solve it? Nectar brings in a social aspect into that, telling you who are the people inside of the organization that you can collaborate with to solve that issue. So you actually take action in real time to improve your business processes. And last and not least, as with Amazon, that I started with, Nectar also recommends to you automatically other insight that will be relevant for your business processes. Just like in Amazon, we analyze all the users' data, all the data in the organization, 100% of that, and suggest the right insights. So with that, I would like you all to be invited to our global family of customers. You probably can recognize the world's largest brands as part of that list, companies such as Citigroup and Danone and Pfizer. And if you want to try Nectar on your products or your corporates, just approach me after my presentation, or that we have a nice booth just to the right of the stage out there. So thank you very much. I was Navi Azaria, the CEO of Panorama, and feel free to drop me an email, and we will show you how to make sense of your data. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Runner-up is Noobaa, Yuval from Noobaa. Claps.
Yes. Thank you. Well, yes, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Yuval from Noobaa, and I'm going to tell you a story about the world of IT. The reality is that cloud is changing the world of IT, but hybrid is forcing changes to the cloud. Just 5 years ago, I was working for Dell, selling enterprise storage to large enterprises. And since it is enterprise storage, I'm talking about large machines that you need to roll them in. And if the customer wants to take it for a test drive, it's not really feasible. It's like, how do you take a test drive? Can you take a test drive to your house? It just doesn't work this way. Then enter the cloud. And the cloud changed everything. You just put in your credit card, and you can start to use the services that the cloud has to offer. It is fast, it is agile, it is magical. But very much like other magical lands, you soon find out that it's very easy to get in, but practically impossible to get out. And this made large enterprises very anxious because they've already been through that once with IBM and mainframes. They've been to an environment that they simply cannot get out from. So they have concern about how do they use the cloud. And then the questions that they have are the following. How are they going to use their existing infrastructures? They already have it. They're not a startup that's coming afresh. They have data centers, they have resources, they have servers, they have teams. The other question is, how do they incorporate multiple cloud providers? They need to work both with AWS and Azure under the same platform. And that is practically impossible today. And the last piece is, how do they control all of that? They have many applications, many users. How can they control what goes where? Because if not, it becomes a very complex problem, both from a management perspective and a security perspective. Enters Noobaa. Noobaa allows enterprises to create cloud services for data that they own. It looks like a standard cloud service, and any application using the cloud can use it, though they can use their existing infrastructure on one data center and multiple data centers to set this up. And it is very fast and easy for them. If they choose to do so, either today or in the future, they can incorporate public clouds as resources under the same namespace. And everything is flexible. They can start with one data center, move to multiple data centers, introduce one cloud, introduce hybrid, and then they can go all cloud or multi-cloud, and they control that. And the reality is that they need to control that because the things and strategies change. Nothing is monolithic today. Nobody knows what the future would look like in any industry, and especially in IT. This is the reality. So some examples of customers that we are working with for exactly this model. So the top example is a European MSP, a telco, that basically sells to the enterprise services, in this case, hybrid storage services that they provide to their customers. The other one is one of the biggest BI vendors out there that is currently offering their services only on AWS, but they have had customers that ask them, we want you to run this service either on-prem or on Azure, and they simply could not today. We allow them to transfer the same application to a different location. And the last one is actually the most interesting one. This is one of the largest banks that is currently building something that is called hyperscale object storage platform as a service. Many, many fascinating terms that actually mean they want to own the cloud service on their own, rather than using it somewhere externally. In terms of the market, this is a huge market. Just the on-premises piece is valuated today at around $4 billion, and I'll show you the players as well. The hybrid game, it is still a variable, but these are the minimum numbers that IDC is quoting. 33 billion today, growing at 20% a year. So it's very, very large market and great opportunity. In terms of the competitors, these are the competitors that Gartner identified as the leaders for the on-premise piece, okay? Now, none of them can use existing infrastructures. None of them can incorporate the cloud and multi-cloud under the same namespace. And none of them has additional functionalities which are important nowadays. These are the ones that I'm referring to as the Lambda functionalities here. Now, another difference, and this will actually show you how different we are from them, we are available already today on Azure Marketplace for customers to create a hybrid solution between Azure, cloud services of Microsoft, and the customer on-premises resources, creating one fabric between on-prem and the cloud while keeping the customer in control. I met Guy Margalit. Guy, raise your hand. Thank you very much. I met Guy Margalit actually 10 years ago. We shared the same cubicle, worked together. At a company named Exanet, we were working on scale-out NAS solution, enterprise storage. Company was acquired by Dell, and we've been cooperating for the last 12 years now. We've teamed up with Eli Hari, who has got vast experience both in IPOs and M&As, and is a very valuable member of our team. Fast facts about the company. Started in 2014. We've just GA'd the product as of this week. So any congratulations, I would be happy. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Actually, very exciting to us. I don't know that you don't care, but I'm very excited. So I appreciate the claps. The team is 11 employees, 2 in the Bay Area doing sales and marketing. The rest are in Israel. We were invested by JVP and OurCrowd, and we'll probably do another round somewhere this year. So to summarize, cloud is changing the world of IT, but if you saw hybrid will force changes to the cloud. This is an innovative technology in a huge and growing market, and now is the best time to do so. Thank you very much.
He's also a comedian, if you haven't noticed. We have Jonathan from PowWow.
Oh, is it here? Oh, there it is. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Jonathan Kaplan. I'm the co-founder and CTO of PowWow Mobile, visiting from San Francisco, where we're proud to be one of OurCrowd's growing number of Bay Area portfolio companies. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our Smart UX platform and how that's helping and becoming the leading platform for enterprises to mobilize their enterprise applications. So I'm going to start by telling you two things that I expect you already know. The first is that we're living in a post-PC era. If you look back over the last 10 years, the growth of mobile devices has been huge, to the point where now there are more than twice as many mobile devices as PCs. The second thing you already know is that this is being fueled by an app economy, right? The growth of smartphones is due to the huge number of apps. And as consumers, we're deluged with 2,000 apps on the Apple Store and another 2 million on the Android Store, and now we're starting to get apps on our Amazon Echoes, and our whole life is surrounded by apps as consumers. But as employees at enterprises, not so much. Your average enterprise has been left behind in this new app world. An average enterprise has mobilized fewer than 7 internal applications. So if you're an employee of an enterprise, the chances are you have very, very few of your work functions that you can do on mobile. And this isn't for lack of interest, right? If you talk to any enterprise CIO, I spend a lot of time talking to enterprise CIOs, they'll tell you that one of the key factors that's driving, that they expect to drive their business is digital transformation. But they're still stuck in this first wave of mobility, in just getting users on their email and getting users, getting security on their devices. Today, they haven't really even started the idea of building apps. And why haven't they built apps? For 3 reasons: the time, the complexity, and the price. On average, in the enterprise, it's taking 6 to 12 months to build a single application. The price, according to analysts, is about $270,000 per app. And we talk to big enterprise, on average, they have over 400 apps that they would like to mobilize. So you do the math, right? We're talking about $100 million of mobilization per enterprise. That's obviously out of range for enterprise IT. So due to the time, the complexity, and the price, enterprises have not succeeded in mobilizing applications. And analysts agree that this is the case, and that this problem is getting worse. If you look at the expectation for 2017 and 2018, there'll be 5x the demand for mobile applications inside of the enterprise than enterprise IT is able to supply. And that brings us to the Smart UX platform. This is PowWow's product, which is it's the only open DevOps platform to allow enterprises to rapidly mobilize their applications. So that enterprises can use our platform to go through and build not 1, not 2, but dozens or hundreds of applications for their internal employees. We've crunched the numbers on this, and the most important factor here is being able to reduce the amount of effort that it takes to build one of these applications. So we've crunched the numbers, and using our platform, it takes about 12% the effort to build each app than traditional development. So think about taking that $270,000 number down to something about $27,000 or $30,000 per app. And this is a game changer in terms of for enterprises in terms of how many apps they want to mobilize. The way we've done this is by looking at the entire end-to-end process that enterprises use to build software and innovating in each of those parts of the process. So I'm not going to go through the whole eye chart here, but when we think about enterprises, we think about them building applications, we think about having a design phase, a build phase, a run phase, and an analyze phase. And we've applied technology to each of these phases in order to help enterprises rapidly mobilize their software. Let me give you 3 quick highlights of the kind of innovation that we're bringing to this system. So the first is bringing a low-code system. So traditional enterprise applications are built by very specialized developers with skills in writing, creating iOS apps in languages like Swift or Objective-C or C# or Java. These are specialized skills that not a lot of developers have. We offer a set of visual tools that allow business users to build their own mobile applications. The second innovation that we bring is the idea of app transformation. And this is one where we have a significant amount of IP. We have 8 patents in this area of transforming enterprise applications. So instead of doing what a normal enterprise does, which is to rewrite all of their servers to support mobile, we allow them to transform the apps they already have. And we use machine learning to do that. So they can rapidly use their existing resources in order to build new apps. And finally, integration. Inside the enterprise, integration is critical. Integrating with enterprise applications, integrating with enterprise security, integrating with enterprises' existing customizations of their applications. These are what make or break a development effort inside of an enterprise organization. And so our platform is the only platform that's built directly for this enterprise, for enterprises to be able to integrate quickly into their existing systems. So let me give you a couple of examples of how our customers are using our platform to transform their applications. The first use case is in transportation. So this is an airline, and they want to replace all the functionality that today happens at the gate with a mobile app. And their goal is so that when a flight is canceled, there's other reasons why there's a long line, they can send multiple agents over and get through the line quickly. So we started working with the airline to build this application, and they gave us access. We were working with their team to build it, and in 8 weeks from the time that we started, we were able to deliver an application that was able to check in passengers at an airport in Miami. Second example, in healthcare, this is working with a partner in New Zealand. They have a hospital where they were wheeling carts with computers into every room of the hospital. This was a huge problem for nurses. We were able to in a matter of weeks, build an iPad application, and they converted the entire hospital from using these computers to using iPads for all of their medication delivery. And this is now rolling out. This is now rolling out in 2 regions in New Zealand, and we're hoping to roll out to all 17 regions in New Zealand. So the last thing to say is that while customers love us for what our platform does today, our platform is also built for the world of tomorrow. So we're built for a world of smart apps where we're using machine learning, cloud services. We have voice inputs, we have Amazon Echoes, we have augmented reality. All of these things are things that our platform is designed for. And so going forward, this is a great technology that enterprises really love for building their mobile apps. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Ursula from Morphisec.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. We're going into the realm of cybersecurity now. Can you hear me good? It's only here over me. I'm Ursula Ron, Director of Marketing of Morphisec. Morphisec is a young company now. We had our seeds in 2014. We had the first A round in 2015. 2016, our product was launched. April. So it's less than 1 year, and we are now already with version 1.1 with paying customers in the US, here in Israel, also in Asia. What we are trying to do is to give a solution to advanced threats and giving a solution to businesses to become protected again. Because what we see that in the latest time, we had the hackers constantly, and you read it in the news all the time, they passed through all the defenses that we traditionally have, if it's web or email filtering, firewalls, VPN, and then antivirus protection. All these traditional solutions cannot stop advanced attacks. So that's the situation CISOs are currently facing. And I was driving to Israel on a very rainy day, and I just thought, yes, they are left out there in the cold rain. So talking with our customers, and also before when making the product, we discussed with them what would be their wish list of a cybersecurity solution. So the points that they would like to see is, first of all, not to detect a breach, but to prevent it. So that's a real different thing. So to prevent an attack as early as possible, because that's the cheapest way and the securest way. So we preach security. They are looking for a solution that shows resiliency, So we know that the hackers will come up with something new very soon. So how secure is the system? How can it answer to all these constant changes? They are looking for solutions that are install and forget. Something they don't need 10 people to manage. Okay, and they're looking for something that is deterministic. Again, no human resources in the security is tight. So, and that's the reality that they have. They have also solutions that they currently have. They are detecting breaches, not preventing attacks. So it's post-breach. They will never know how much or to what extent their solution will be able to answer the next wave of attacks, the next new family of attacks. All systems are extremely complex, very cost-offensive, and they are all prone to false positives, which is, again, a complete no for any company. So we thought we have to change here something very fundamentally to come up with a good solution. The same thing, no one needs it, right? So the fundamental change comes by looking at the hacker, actually. The hackers, they have the advantage to know our systems inside out. They all have made their homeworks. So they know our systems because these systems are predictable. And they find a way how to work around them, how to breach them. So our idea, our basic idea of Morphisec is, how can we make a system that is unpredictable to the attackers? So again, this is the situation right now. The company is chasing unpredictable hackers. As I said, we don't know what the hackers will do in a week from now, what kind of new attack they will have. But the answers to this are detection. So again, this is coming much too late. They have the need for prior knowledge. We need signatures. Some solutions are using behavioral analysis of artificial intelligence. So that's not what we are doing. We are trying to bring, because it's working. We want hackers to chase unpredictable, moving targets, okay? Which brings prevention. We are using polymorphism or moving target defense technology. I will explain it a little bit later. But basically, we are hiding the target for the attackers. And it's deterministic. I don't need to know anything about the attack. Just get that. No databases to update, no nothing, okay? So how is that done? Again, we are leveraging a solution of a technology that is called moving target. It was developed at the Ben Gurion University. We spinned it out as a startup. We have JVP, we have OurCrowd, we also have Deutsche Telekom and General Electric as our investors. So what we are doing is we are actually protecting the processes on your computer. So I give you an example. Examples might work the best. You're getting an email with a word attack. And it's a malicious word attack, word document. That means there is a hidden code in there for an attack. You're clicking on it, okay? By clicking on it, the first part of the attack will be to find a vulnerability in the memory space of your computer. That's how attacks are built, okay? So what we are doing is when an application loads, when Word loads into your memory space, we are morphing, we are changing the memory space completely. There is no key to this. No one knows beside your own system because your own system needs to know. Okay, so we are then at the moment, if there is really an infiltration and try to exploit a vulnerability on your system, the hacker didn't know that now the vulnerability that has been on address A is now on address X. It fails. It just fails. It cannot even start. That is prevention pure. Okay? So we still want to know who attacked the organization. So we are keeping a decoy of the old system, and we trap the attack. We're actually getting a full fingerprint of the attack, much more information than any other solution can give you. Okay, this is a general setup that's of our solution. We have the software runs on your endpoints. It's called Protector. It's a very, very slim service. It's 1 megabyte. I mean, I should have written 1 megabyte very, very big. Because if you know other security solutions, they can easily have 300, 400, and even 500 megabytes, slowing down your computers. So this is a really, really, really slim service, and it's install and forget. That was one of our, or let's call it our mantra. It's simple and effective. That's what Morphisec is out to do. Whatever solution we are bringing, it has to be simple and effective. So it's install and forget. There's no need for any lengthy configurations. There are no database to be updated. We are not working with signatures. We do not produce any false positives, which is a huge win for every company using it. There aren't any performance penalties, and we're compatible. It's also one of our mantra, plays nice with our neighbors. So we are working very nicely with any other application or security systems you have. So we have just released our version 1.1. I told that before. It's an enterprise-ready version, giving you the attacks. This is an overview of attacks. I'm just going through that just so you have a little bit of feeling of how that is. And here, this is maybe something I have to explain. So I told you that as we are preventing the attack so early, we're actually having a fingerprint of the attack. So the log attack gives information that no other security solution is able to provide. Okay, so again, we are having a solution here that brings powerful prevention, stops attacks that no one else does. And again, we have operational efficiency. And all this with the benefits of zero OpEx, reduced detection, and reduced patching costs. That is what we are offering to our customers. A basic stack in the company, at least you have an antivirus running there. So now you will hear from many new gen antivirus, throw it away or use something else, and we say no, keep your antivirus. It's okay. It does what it's meant to do, it does good. But there are a few things it will never be able to do, like to stop advanced attacks. So place Morphisec on it. And those together is the most efficient stack that you can get right now. And not only this, because you are adding prevention to it, it's the less costly one and the most efficient one. Here are the other ones. There are, and again, we are detecting, we are blocking. We are not detecting, we are stopping the attack in milliseconds, while others are needing months to detect an attack. So that's it, that's Morphisec. We are on the way out. Just before you leave the building, look to the right, that's where we are.
Thank you. We have Oren from BriefCam.
Sorry. No problem. Yeah. Why didn't I log in? Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, it's me keeping you from lunch, I think, or maybe one or two other colleagues. How many minutes do I have? I'll try and make it brief. So I'm Warren from BriefCam. Okay, BriefCam, we are the video synopsis company, or video summary company, if you will. So what do? We've discussed in the last few minutes or so a lot about data, a lot about antivirus and cybersecurity and whatnot. We actually challenge the world of video. Today in the world there is an enormous amount of video surveillance. I'm sure whether you come from Israel or especially if you come from Asia, but if you come from even the US or Europe, people feel that if they have more cameras today in the world, they will feel safer. So we see more cameras in the streets, we see more cameras in shops, even in homes. And you'll be surprised to know that even inside homes, people are now installing cameras. So what did we do in BriefCam, which is also, by the way, a spin-off from the Hebrew University? We decided to take the challenge of reviewing video from a different angle. So what do? We take an original video, for example, 30 minutes of original video, and by our patented process of video synopsis, we simultaneously present all the objects that occurred at different times in the same place, and when we find an object of interest, we can index back to the original video. So what do I mean by that? Is that we kind of a search engine of video. We go through the video, we find the object of interest, and we can get back to the original video. I just want to break it down a little bit, not necessarily technically, but for you to see. So what is our strength? We extract the objects. We have a very good object extraction engine. You can see over here, we extract the objects, but not just the objects. We extract the video metadata of the objects. And the metadata, in fact, can give enormous value to a number of vertical markets, including obviously security, and you'll see that in a minute, but certainly perhaps operations, perhaps business intelligence, if we know who that object is, what they did. So we extract the objects, we put it in a database, and then we can deliver the results that you're looking for instantaneously. Today in BriefCam, we can just look at it in a nutshell at the market. So I mentioned before, there's a heap of data, of video data out there, petabytes of data that people are recording, typically storing for 30 to 60 days, depending on the customer, and it's lost forever. And we argue that there's a lot of value that can be generated from that. We have a proven technology, and I'll show you a few of our customers. We're working in somewhat 40 countries the world over. We have strong sales growth, and what are we looking for? We're looking for strategic investment. We're looking for partners who can take our technology the world over into different vertical markets where we are working today and where we look to work in the future. This is quite an interesting picture. This is taken from a McKinsey report. And what is it saying at the end of the day? The marriage between video analytics, or video analysis, if you will, and IoT, which is a nice three-letter word that everyone's throwing out, big data, IoT, and you know the world is transforming. We heard it from our colleagues over here. But where is video? Video is missing simply because while there's so much data potential in the video that's being extracted, people don't know what to do with it. And we in BriefCam believe that we can solve this problem. We believe that the petabytes of data are out there. We saw in raw data, but non-video data before, but the petabytes of data are out there, are being recorded anyway by CCTV cameras, or IP cameras, if you will, today. Structuring the video today is non-existent, and video insights that different stakeholders in organizations can gain from it is also very, very limited at best. So with BriefCam, with our very, very strong engine and our ability to extract the metadata, we believe that we can structure the video for you and then give you different video insights to different stakeholders in the organization. Different ways that we can present the video. Okay, we have a home user application where we can show a user a day and a minute in a house. You can see 24 hours of video. You can see, if you look carefully, the shadow is changing over time. And you can see that obviously it's the same people who appeared on the deck at different hours in the day. Another example, in a safe city or traffic analysis, if you will. Okay, so we see traffic moving in different directions. We can see the paths of the traffic, which looks very, very normal. And then we can even see if objects were stopping. Where did objects stop? And we can always double click on those hotspots, on those heat maps, and see exactly what happened. And if you come to our booth upstairs later on, we can show you in a little bit more detail. Another example, this is Saks Fifth Avenue in the United States. It's the shoe section. So the security people might be interested in the video. But what we do in BriefCam is we're able to analyze the changes in the background. And this can give us some business intelligence insights to see which are the popular items here, and why is it cooler over there. And this might be a nice trigger for someone to actually use those visual statistics to actually go and engage the challenge. BriefCam, as I said, is a tried and tested solution. We work very, very strongly in certain sectors. Government, I cannot mention all the names, but some very, very dominant government agencies are working with BriefCam. Obviously, security agencies gravitate towards this solution. The FBI is one of our customers. And just a short anecdote is that we were used, we actually got an accolade from the government of Massachusetts because in the tragic Boston bombing, we helped the FBI find the Boston bombers very, very fast. And that was publicly noted, so I can mention that. We're being used by law enforcement, but police the world over, all the way from, as I said, the FBI, of course in Israel and all Asia, Europe, across the way. Safe cities are a very, very interesting market for us because it's not just the safety now which is important. Safe cities are looking for operational improvements, traffic analysis and whatnot. And we have a very interesting safe city in Hartford in the US that one of the drivers for using BriefCam is what they call quality of life. And that's a very interesting market for us. Transportation, airports. In airports, the chief security officer cares about safety and security. But the marketing manager cares about how the shops are being leveraged inside the airport. And the operations manager, perhaps the COO, cares about in-store, in-terminal movement, the turnaround time of aircrafts, and so on and so forth. So the value is very, very high for different people. High-end enterprise is another market for us. Google is one of our largest customers. They use for their data centers to protect the data centers the world over. My time is short, but I'll just say that obviously we've been mentioned in the press, and I can expand later on. Just a quick thing about the IoT. We see this is an enormous market. We know that a lot of money has been thrown in the direction of IoT. And where is BriefCam relevant in this market? We see us very much in homes, and I'll illustrate this just in a second's time. In safe cities, where safe cities become smart cities. I don't know if anyone is in the industry, but safe city is kind of the old term. It's smart cities and how to leverage IoT within that. And of course, in enterprise. I'll skip the slide because I think I said it in different ways. A few other ways that we can present the data. Now, if I was a law enforcement investigator, I'd want to do a deep investigation, comb through heaps of video, find what my target, and then act. But the operations manager or marketing manager would like to probably see a report, which I said we actually are able to extract the objects and the metadata of the objects. Now, one word for you folks. We're currently using computer vision algorithms for our product. This year we are launching and we're working very, very earnestly on machine learning in order to improve our classification. So we will be able to do not just separate people from other objects, but we could do more granular classification. So it's people, man, woman, boy, girl, dog, cat, large car, small car, etc., etc. And if we can give that data in a graphical presentation, and we can look at and aggregate that data just from the security cameras inside a store, this can have a huge value for retail. And obviously, is an example of an airport, similar value for operations in an airport. And the last thing I will say is that we have a home application. It's a completely different business model. We are working with service providers, and we hopefully are going to close some very, very large deals very soon with service providers which are offering home cameras. And people can use an application to see a day in a minute or to see certain other elements inside the home. And just to wrap up, the same as I said before, a lot of video is being recorded. Very little video is actually being viewed, and little video data is being either aggregated and used. And that's it. Hopefully it was brief enough, and I hope I didn't keep you too long. Thank you very much.